We welcome you to Seattle, Washington from the Pacific Northwest. Stop number 2 on this 3-game road trip, which could also be subtitled How the West Was Won. All bunched up in the AL West with the Astros now on top by a game, Oakland a game back, and the Seattle Mariners start the day 4.5 behind the Houston Astros. A little smoky here in Seattle, but we have baseball for you tonight. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. And Blummer, Seattle came into Minute Maid Park not too long ago and took all 4 games. It would be nice to pay it back at their place.
Yeah, it's kind of how this series has gone. The road teams have done extremely well. Seattle did take it out on the Houston Astros back in Minute Maid Park. It's nice they got the quick turnaround to come back here and hopefully stick it to them in their ballpark.
2 losses to start this road trip in Oakland, but then game number 3 went the Astros' way, and it was a nice win.
It was a really nice win. Justin Verlander went out there 5 1/3 innings, eventually got that 200th win. A lot of it started with some fun and games by us up in the booth, and Big Hats brought big hits from the Houston Astros. They scored 9 runs on 13 hits. What's great about those 13 hits is that 6 of them were extra base hit variety. A couple of home runs mixed in there. Gaddis, Maldonado, Marwin Gonzalez got in there. But it was really the way the offense stepped up and finally picked up not the best outing from Justin Verlander, but a good enough outing to go out there and get that 200th win.
Yesterday's game, our Get Out and Play, presented by Toyota. Martin Maldonado, a star in the victory in the Astros, trying to keep that momentum rolling tonight in Seattle. When Julia Morales comes back, she will talk about Garrett Cole and the strikeout race in the American League.
Taking on the Mariners in the series opener today, and the Astros got a great pitching performance yesterday by Justin Verlander, that 200th win. Garrett Cole, of all guys, standing up to give a speech recognizing the greatness that was Justin Verlander. Well, he's been really great too. Both of these guys here in 2018 for the Houston Astros, they find themselves on top of some AL leaderboards as they have all season long, especially when it comes to strikeouts. This is a fun number to watch for both of these guys. Our best in Texas power pitcher presented by Ford Dealers is that of Garrett Cole. Verlander's on the list as well as we look at those strikeout numbers. He's tied for second with 219 with Chris Sale. Verlander at the top of this list. Trevor Bauer not far behind, but think about this. Chris Sale on the DL for the second time this season with shoulder inflammation. Is going to miss some starts. Trevor Bauer out for a while with that stress fracture. So it'll be fun to see how many punch-outs Verlander and Cole can rack up. A little bit of competition between those two as well. So for tonight, Garrett Cole going up against the Mariners for the fourth time this season. Third time here this month. Wasn't familiar with them coming in, but here getting real familiar with this club. And in that the first of those three got the win. That was back in April though. These last two he has taken the loss. However, he has pitched really well against this Mariners team. Dominant really through the first 5 innings. A little bit of trouble towards the end of his outing. So hopefully he can continue that tonight. But getting the W is key as these Astros are trying to keep the lead in the AL West. It'll be a fun one. Don't go anywhere. First pitch coming up from here at Safeco Field when we get back.
By Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees, that's transparency. By Arctic, overbuilt, not overpriced. And by Buick, visit your local Buick dealer. Back in Seattle, it is a little hazy here. They've had some wildfires in the north and also to the east of them as we get ready for baseball on this Monday night, the Astros and the Mariners. And the Astros will try and continue on from their offensive output yesterday with this lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. Alex Bregman at the top of the lineup. No George Springer today. Marwin Gonzalez is in left field batting second. Yuli's at second, hitting third. Carlos Correa cleans up and plays shortstop. Tyler White was not in the original lineup, but he is in there now and playing first base. Josh Reddick in right field. Evan Gattis DHing. Martin Maldonado coming off by far his best game as an Astro, and Tony Kemp hitting ninth.
Right-hander King Felix going for the Seattle Mariners. 24 games this season. He has 23 starts. That means that he is making his 400th career appearance and his 399th start. Hasn't been pretty this season. Kind of lost that crown moving into that bullpen to make that last appearance. And out of that bullpen, he went 5 2/3 against Oakland, only giving up 2 earned runs.
Yeah, came in and did a nice job in that game Tuesday in Oakland after James Paxton was hit on the arm and had to leave the game. Hernandez facing Alex Bregman to get this thing started tonight. The Astros winning the final game Sunday 9-4 against the Oakland A's after losing the first two. They start one game ahead of Oakland, 4.5 ahead of Seattle, who just lost 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers over the weekend. And Felix delivers a fastball for a strike to start this game. 89 miles an hour with the fastball, and that's about where he is now as opposed to earlier in his career when he was 90 to 95, depending on when you check.
Yeah, I had the misfortune of facing him in his prime when he first got called up in 2005, and he was pumping in the mid-90s consistently with a pretty nasty changeup.
Gene Segura makes the play on the pop-up by Alex Bregman, and 1 out in the first inning, and here's the defense. You saw Segura. He is joined by Kyle Seager on the left side of the infield. Robinson Cano learning a new position over at first base with D. Gordon doing a nice job during Cano's suspension at second base. The outfield, Denard Span, Mitch Haniger, and Ben Gamble, who's just been called back up. And then Mike Zunino behind the plate. "83 degrees at game time. Very little wind, which isn't necessarily good news right now in Seattle, as they have had a lot of smoke in the area here over the last couple of days. And Seattle didn't even take batting practice today. The Astros did. They took BP underneath the stadium in the cages, but the Astros were the only ones that took the field here before the game.
Makes sense. Road team, get out there, get used to the backdrop, get used to the playing surface, take some ground balls. But it is not pretty or pretty healthy. That was struck.
Marwin deep to right field. Forget about it. Off the facade of the upper deck. Marwin Gonzalez, one of his longest home runs of the year. And the Astros out in front 1-0. Number 12 on the season, his 9th as a left-hand hitter.
6th home run, 10th RBI in the month of August, which has been very good to Marwin Gonzalez, and that power stroke from both sides of the ballpark. Remember last time we were here, 3 home runs from the right, or started that stretch where he had a couple of home runs right-handed. But here jumping on King Felix early.
Here's Yuli taking a breaking ball for ball 1. Big hug from Tony Kemp. That's standard now when you hit a home run, and Marwin struck that ball very well.
Yeah, if you don't like PDAs, you better not hit a home run.
There's a strike called to Yuli. It's 1-1.
You got pretty excited because that ball was crushed. That was 106.4 off the bat as far as miles per hour. That qualifies.
Last start for Felix before he was sent to the bullpen, he allowed 3 home runs against the Rangers. That was a game in Arlington, lasted 6 innings and allowed 11 runs, 7 of them earned. We saw him warm up at Minute Maid Park a couple of times, but did not get into a game in that series. Finally appeared out of the bullpen in that series against Oakland on Tuesday. And Blummer, that fastball's been getting hit the last couple of seasons.
Yes, getting hit very hard. That's the 2nd highest average against the fastball in Major League Baseball. And you talked about the velocity right around 89 miles an hour. But if it's elevated out over the plate, big league hitters are going to get to it.
Kind of a big start for him. Obviously, the Mariners have had to revamp their rotation with some injuries, with Paxton going on the DL. And now Felix getting another opportunity. Blummer mentioned 400th career appearance. Here's a pop-up on the right side. Cano all by himself at first base. And Robbie puts it away for out number 2.
It was a fastball that was elevated out over the plate, allowing Marwin to get those arms extended. As soon as he made connection with it, both he and Felix knew that that was well struck off the facade of the second deck in right field. 415 feet later.
Those sections out in the outfield there in right field are pretty deep, and Marwin went over those and off that scoreboard, fronting the suite area. Here is Carlos Correa with a count of 1-0. Carlos, good numbers in his career against the King. He's 5 for 11, including a home run. And he rips one foul towards the King's court.
Wow.
And a one-hand play. Beverage in the left hand and a one-hand catch on a line drive.
One hand on you.
And it did not spill a drop of the beverage. That is phenomenal. Early play of the day. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Felix making his 24th start of this season. He had made 398 starts without a bullpen appearance in his career before he appeared out of the bullpen Tuesday. And now he makes a start in his career 400th game. Inside on Correa, backs him off the plate. It's 3-2. Carlos 3 for 28 since coming off the DL. Does have 4 runs batted in with those 3 hits. 3 of them on a double in a victory against the Colorado Rockies back at Minute Maid Park. Checked his swing, but it's a called third strike. Correa goes down looking.
Big swing early on. Marwin leaning back on the King, putting the Astros ahead 1-0 early.
Behind the railing of the dugout, how he lines things up. Mitch Haniger will lead things off in center field. Robinson Cano, strange to see first base next to his name. Gene Segura is at shortstop. Nelson Cruz DHs. Denard Span in left field. Kyle Seager at third. Ben Gamble just up. He's in right field hitting 7th. Mike Zunino and D. Gordon.
Garrett Cole on the mound for the Houston Astros. You heard Julia saying some very good things about him. It's been a good season this season at 25 starts. The opponent batting average of 188.
.219 strikeouts for Garrett coming in, making his 3rd start here in Seattle, his 4th overall this year against the Mariners. And he starts off Mitch Haniger with a called strike. Cole pitching against Seattle all 3 times the Astros have visited Safeco Field. Haniger had quite a series against the Astros at Minute Maid Park. That's the beginning of his time as a leadoff hitter, and he sends one into center field for a base hit. So Haniger picks up where he left off after that series in Houston.
Yeah, the power numbers haven't exactly been there in the leadoff spot for Haniger, other than some doubles, but swinging the bat well. Month of August has been kind to him too. 356 in the month of August for Mitch Haniger.
The one guy the Astros did not see during that 4-game sweep at home was Robinson Cano. Cano was just concluding his 80-game suspension. Came back right after that to face the Oakland A's. Played this weekend against the Dodgers. Cano is 6 for 22 since coming back from the suspended list.
And with that PED suspension, no matter what the Seattle Mariners do, if they do sneak into the playoffs, he will not be a part of it.
And he's having to learn a new position.
Well, D. Gordon makes them a better ball club at second base. Nothing against what Cano could do at second base, but center field experience was not all that great.
Very casual with the catch. He hadn't spilled his beer until his buddy started shaking him.
I'm not even sure that's his buddy.
Just random guy celebrating.
Get your hands off me.
I got this.
Yeah. Let me enjoy my moment.
1-1 is upstairs. It's 2-1. Cano in his career a .323 hitter against the Astros. That includes 14 home runs. Made his first start ever at first base on Tuesday. Long run for Josh Reddick to try and track it down. Haniger will be held. Robinson Cano with career double number 523 is now tied with Willie Mays for 47th all time in that category.
Definitely a welcome bat back in that lineup for Scott Service. MD Anderson showed you that pitch down the middle.
Reddick was in right center field, had a long run just to get to that ball, and Haniger for a moment had thoughts of possibly trying to score. Segura grounds one towards short. Haniger comes home. Cano stays at second. Low throw, and it's loose. Tyler White unable to pick it. Carlos Correa, a rare error, and it's a 1-1 game.
Had to rush it, ends up hitting that lip. And that in-between hop eats up Tyler White. Run would have scored anyway, but you would have liked to have gotten an out of it. But with that hop that Correa had to get, he had to sit back on it and get the long hop, and Segura can run.
Tough start for Garrett Cole here in the bottom of the first inning. First three reached, the last one on an error, and here's Nelson Cruz. Cruz taking a called strike. Cruz tied for 6th in the American League with 30 home runs, also tied for 6th with those 78 runs batted in. Cole ahead 0-2. Segura gets the RBI because Haniger would have scored either way. No chance of that. In fact, the ball's closer to Tyler White where it ends up than Martin Maldonado. That is a very wild pitch to allow both runners to advance.
I'm going to put down VWP.
Okay.
Yeah, that was spiked well out in front of home plate, barely getting onto the dirt. Maldonado somehow had it deflect off his body, but had no idea where it was. Kind of lucky that Cano was on second base. If it was D. Gordon or somebody like that, they might have thought about rounding third base.
And just got that little bit of protection there on the right shoulder, but A.J. Hinch was concerned enough to try and ask Martin if he was okay. And Mike McClinsky, the home plate umpire, gave him a little extra time to recover. Infield comes in now with nobody out. And a swing and a miss at a high fastball. Big strikeout for Cole. That's the first out of the inning, as he gets Cruz to chase for out number 1.
Beat him earlier with an elevated fastball. This one out of the zone, and he gets the chase.
Well, Cole's first strikeout of the night, 220 on the season now. Infield remains in for Denard Span. Fastball opponent's average has been stellar all year long. A very light 170 opponent's average. Span swings and misses at the fastball at 97. 6 for 18 in his career against Garrett Cole with a home run. And good numbers throughout his career against the Houston Astros. Pretty well hit into left field. Hit well enough to score a run. Cano will tag. He will score easily. Heading to third is Segura. Throw gets away, but no further advancement. The Mariners take a 2-1 lead on the sac fly by Denard Span.
Good piece of hitting by Denard Span. Got a pitch elevated that he could hit the outfield.
Saw Marwin try and make that play to third as Gene Segura tagged up and went from second to third. Tony Kemp's in center field. Josh Reddick is in right. Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa normally on the left side. Correa on the right side now with the shift, joining Yuli Gurriel and Tyler White. And Martin Maldonado behind the plate. Originally, George Springer was in that lineup, but a little bit of leg soreness, and Springer was scratched from the lineup, and that moved everybody around. Tony Kemp went from left to center. Marwin went from second to left. Yuli went from first to second, and Tyler White was plugged into the lineup.
StatCast AI, powered by AWS, shows why that shift is employed. The last 100 baseballs put in play by Kyle Seager, heavy on the pull side.
2-0 the count. Garrett Cole with that error, allowing one earned run in this inning. The last run was unearned. It would have been the third out of the inning had the play been made by Carlos Correa to retire Segura. And anything else that scores this inning will be an unearned run as well. But the Mariners bouncing right back after the Astros scored first. And now Kyle Seager has a count of 3-0. Fastball, it's 3-1.
Thank you very much.
Seager hasn't fared well this year against righties.
4 pitches above the zone. Luckily, he gets a swing and miss at one to allow him to fight back into this AB.
Everything has been above the zone. Seager chasing ball 4. See where Cole goes here. 3-1. Up and away, and Garrett a little frustrated. That's his first walk. Did not really throw competitive pitches there to Kyle Seager, as he missed with all 5, as it turns out. Did get a swing and a miss.
So before July, Garrett Cole phenomenal, much like this rest of the rotation for the Houston Astros. At 172 batting average, impressive. It's a slugging percentage that you kind of worry about, and the hard hit percentage means he's leaving some pitches out over the plate or maybe falling behind and being forced to throw some pitches that are a little more hittable. But in July and August, the slugging jumping up to 400. But we've seen that a little bit with Justin Verlander and Garrett Cole. After those phenomenal starts, you expect a little bit of a lull, because to be that fantastic as these guys were in the first couple of months of the season was remarkable to watch.
Yeah, they were just going back and forth and continued to put up impressive numbers on the season, but prior to the All-Star break, those numbers were some of the best in all of baseball. Here's Ben Gamble. Gamble grounds one foul.
Backswing got Maldonado.
And Martine's having a tough first inning.
Good thing Martine's built like a catcher. He's just thick and can take a beating back there. It's like Salvador Perez up in Kansas City. Some of those guys, they just look natural in their gear.
There's a strike. Garrett drop it in a slider for a strike. It's 0-2. Gamble just back from Tacoma today. Guillermo Heredia was optioned out. Scott Service wanted another lefty bat with the righty Cole starting today. Fly ball into right field. Josh Reddick waits for it, and he will put it away. Mariners come back with 2, and Seattle leads 2-1.
Remember, you can find it on Twitter at ATT Sportsnet SW. We asked you today, who is the most dominant right-handed starter that you've seen since 2005? So let's take it back. Look at some of the names here. Verlander, former MVP, Cy Young Award winner, champion. Felix Hernandez going tonight with his 400th career appearance. He was a Cy Young Award winner too, so was Greinke, and then Max Scherzer's only done it 3 times. Greinke debuted in 05, Verlander 05. When was Hernandez?
05.
05? My goodness, what a year.
Yeah, sometimes it's easy to forget that Felix is only 32 because he's been around since 05.
Well, and then we watch our guy, Justin Verlander, at 35, pump 95 to 99 yesterday, and you see a young arm like Felix Hernandez and go, why isn't he? A lot of shoulder issues in the last couple of years for King Felix. But it makes you appreciate Justin that much more.
Felix gets a ground ball from Tyler White. Seager makes the play across, and that's the first out of the second inning. It was a tough decision for Scott Service when he made that call to send Felix Hernandez to the bullpen. That happened when the Mariners were in town against the Astros, and he knew it was not going to be an easy conversation. Felix was not happy, as you would imagine, but the numbers are what the numbers are, and Felix was really struggling this year in those first 23 starts. Josh Reddick takes one outside for a ball. It's 1-0. But now Felix gets a reprieve back in the rotation, at least for now. That could end up being a big night for him to see if he will stay in that rotation. 399 starts, 400 overall games pitched for Felix now. Reddick with a count of 2-0. And he's missed on the first 3 to Josh. Josh will take this because over the years, Josh has not had very much success against Felix, a 183 average and 12 strikeouts and 60 at-bats. That's a 4-pitch walk. Josh Reddick, a 1-out base runner in the second.
Yeah, with the fastball trending down, A lot of these numbers are going to trend the wrong way when he's not able to establish the secondary pitches with that electric fastball that he's had in the past. It's going to be tough. He's going to have to pitch to a little more contact, and that contact this season has been hard hit.
When you consider those numbers, they're even more glaring when you think about how much strikeouts have risen across the league the last couple of years.
Yep, that's a good point.
Not many pitchers have seen their strikeout totals decline in 2017 and 18. Here's Evan Gattis. Fastball usage also at the lowest of his career, and that has something to do with the fact that he is not throwing it in the 90s anymore. Feels like he needs to mix in other offerings. Evan and Alex Bregman both hitting home runs yesterday. And Evan pops one up shallow right. Coming on is Gamble. And that's out number 2.
Looking to give back to the Houston community? The Astros Foundation invites you to join the volunteer corps to take part in various volunteer opportunities, including game day activities at Minute Maid Park, craft parties at local hospitals, and much more. For more information, visit astros.com/volunteer.
Here's Martin Maldonado. What a day it was for him yesterday in Oakland. Martin in succession with a double, a triple, and a home run. And in the process put himself in the record books for the Astros. He became the first catcher ever with a double, triple, and a home run in a game. And also the first number 9 hitter in Astros history to do that.
It's an ugly strike.
Barrel is shattered on a pop foul. Seager gives it a look, but it's into the crowd. That barrel ended up into the outfield.
Yeah, it'd be a tough call to say what went farther. Might have been a tie as far as distance covered by the barrel and baseball.
That is a bat that did some damage yesterday.
How about Segura stealing some of that pine tar off the bat? When I talk about getting in the kitchen, Felix Hernandez was cooking with wood.
Martin just saw that bat and said, no.
Yeah, there goes the gamer from yesterday.
No. That one had a lot of extra base hits in it yesterday. Counts 0-2. And a breaking ball for a called third strike. So Felix has ended both innings with a strikeout. It's 2-1 Seattle.
For the annual Boot Scootin' Barbecue. Fans with a September 1st ticket to see the Astros take on the Angels will have access to the country-themed street festival featuring live music by the Cottonwood Crows, Jackson Street Barbecue, games, and more. Visit astros.com/bbq for tickets and more information. TK.
All right, Julia, bottom half of the second inning we go. Garrett Cole will face Mike Zunino, D. Gordon, then the top of the order. 7 Mariners batted in the first inning. A couple of hits and an error, scored a couple of runs. As Zunino takes a called strike. Cole needed 21 pitches in that first inning. And he has fired a couple of strikes to Mike Zunino. Zunino 0 for 9 against this guy, Garrett Cole, with a couple of strikeouts, and in the midst of an 0 for 16 right now. And Garrett just misses the outside edge. It's 1-2. Zunino coming in batting 192 on the year. 17 home runs. And it's 2-2.
Yeah, there's never been a doubt about Zunino's power. Just the matter of the contact rate for Zunino.
Mentioned the Mariners elected not to take BP with a little smoke in the area here the last couple of days. The roof is open here at Safeco Field, feeling it's better to keep the air circulating as much as possible. It is a little eerie here tonight.
And you know what's interesting too? A lot of people on Twitter are asking, just close the roof, turn on the AC. They can't do that here.
Nope.
They cannot fully enclose this stadium. That section you're looking at out there in left field, Zunino goes down for the 119th time this season. Is that this area up here is wide open. Yep. Whereas in Minute Maid Park, we have plexiglass covering that left field wall. Here, it's just wide open. So basically, it's just a roof that rolls over the top. And if they do that, they worry that they may trap some of the smoke underneath that roof. So keeping it open allows a little more airflow.
Yeah, and it's that way in right field, too.
Yep.
Just think about it in terms of a huge parking garage where the air just flows through in between the different floors. There's a base hit into right field. So there is no way they could control that. So they choose to keep the roof open tonight.
Defensive rankings are brought to you by GMC. There we go. GMC defensive rankings. Martin Maldonado, the machete, cuts down runners at a rate of 41.4%. Second highest in Major League Baseball behind Salvador Perez. He is a threat to throw out base runners. He's also a threat to throw behind base runners. He'll have his eye on D. Gordon over there at first base, who has 27 steals on the season.
27 of 36. I think Maldonado likes it when they get a stolen base guy on, because this is the part of the game he enjoys as much as anything. He likes the challenge. He currently 4th in the major leagues.
And you know who else likes that Maldonado likes the challenge? Are the pitchers. They don't have to focus on that runner at first base as much as far as pickoffs or altering their times to home plate, slide steps. It's encouraged, but they don't have to focus on it as much because they know Maldonado has a pretty good arm to get them.
Cole, long pause in the stretch before a throw over.
But that's the benefit too. If you're able to coordinate a guy on the mound as far as a pitcher is concerned who can vary his times as far as how long he holds the baseball before he goes home or picks off, really helps out the catcher. It's a reasonable lead. Probably get one more step.
D tied with Whit Merrifield and Jose Ramirez for the league lead in the American League. All three of them have 27. Malik Smith has 26. Down and away, it's 1-1. Well, D. Gordon bats in that 9 spot, and this is why Scott Service likes to put D. Gordon with his speed at the bottom of the lineup, so that if he gets on, a guy like a Mitch Haniger or the guy after him, Robinson Cano, might see a distracted pitcher or might get a few more fastballs. pitch, but he doesn't get the call. It's 2-1.
That was a great pitch. I think Garrett Cole's a little upset that he didn't get that call. Yeah, pitcher's pitch.
There's another breaking ball, and this one all over the plate. It's 2-2. Haniger singled and scored his first time up. Mitch really liking that leadoff spot. He is hitting close to 400 since moving up to the #1 spot in the order. He did that beginning on August 9th in Houston. 17 for 43 since then as a leadoff hitter. Rips one foul. Gotta stay loose over there at first base.
You ain't lying. I know that Haniger got the barrel to it, but he got abused by that fastball.
Chris Prieto, the first base coach, close to the line of fire there.
It's tough for me to speak to letting a ball travel that much because I do not remember in my career ever barreling a baseball that hard the other way, especially in foul territory. I could go the other way with some pitches, but to be able to hit a rocket that almost knocks down the first base coach from the right side, I don't remember any of that. That's tough.
Cole gets the edge. Garrett picks up a strikeout, his third, as Haniger goes down looking for the second out.
Got a little more of that edge than he did earlier in the count, thankfully, especially with the way Mitch Haniger's been swinging the bat.
Now Garrett will face Robinson Cano. Cano with that double his first time up. It was his first extra base hit since coming off the suspended list. He was 6 for 22, all with singles prior to that. Double into right field. No fouls went out of play. Mariners just finished a series with the Dodgers in which they were defeated soundly in 2 games, 11-1 and 12-1, and they won the middle game on a walk-off balk. Dodgers Dylan Floro committing a balk with the bases loaded as Mariners won 5, 4, and 10 innings on Saturday. No fouls, one back. It's 0-2. 6 weeks to go in the season. It's going to be an interesting 3-team race in the AL West.
I agree. Should be exciting. Hopefully in the right way for the Houston Astros. You know, when you see AJ use that hand and kind of bounce it across the railing like that, that means watch the base runner for a delay steal.
He goes and stops.
Yeah, he did. You almost wonder if he's trying to get a feel for the timing of Garrett Cole. And that's what the conversation is between Gordon and Prieto. See that with good base runners sometimes. If they try to get that jump, if they don't like it, they'll shut it down and get back to the bag.
You know, we can only surmise because we can't talk to D. Gordon in the middle of the game, but you wonder if he would have stayed there without a Maldonado behind the plate for the whole at bat of Mitch Haniger and now the first 3 pitches to Robinson Cano.
Definitely changes the mentality. He's got to think about it a little bit more. It's interesting that he leads that far back behind the baseline for me. Not exactly a straight line to second.
There he goes, and Cano with 2 strikes has to protect the strike zone and fouls one away.
But I know sometimes too there's been guys that will lead to the backside of the bag because that's where they're going to dive back to that outside corner.
Yeah.
And they'll slide
Create
to the
that
outside
angle.
corner
Yep.
at second base.
Just saw Maldonado after that foul ball go to the batter's box chalk line on this night where the sky is so strange. Maybe Cole having trouble seeing the signs.
It could be that, because it was worse on the field. You and I were down there before the game while they were taking batting practice, but I'm a little concerned with pop flies. This sky is very similar to what that baseball looks like when it's rubbed up.
Cole got the right sign there. Maldonado will have to make the throw to get Cano, and he does. Garrett Cole strikes out 3 in the inning, and it's still 2-1.
Houston Methodist, most consecutive road series won versus an opponent. Since 2016, the Astros at the Mariners have been very good, winning 7 straight series. Others on that list, of course, the Reds. Plenty of years the Astros have put up good numbers against Cincinnati, Philadelphia on there, and the Braves back in the mid-'80s. Some good ball clubs playing good baseball on the road. This season here at Safeco Field, the Astros are 5-2.
Let's keep that streak going.
Yep.
Tony Kemp will lead things off, number 9 hitter in the lineup, facing Felix Hernandez, who starts Kemp off with a strike with a fastball. Kemp batting 9th. You see the numbers, 339 overall, 280. There's an OPS of 930 from that number 9 spot. Nobody in the league has been better in that last spot in the lineup than Tony Kemp, but he's down to the count quickly here, 0-2. One and 2 the count. Mentioned the Mariners starting the day 4.5 games back. They're on pace for 92 wins. But everybody else in the American League off to a hotter start through 125 or 124 games. In fact, today when Cleveland beat Boston, not only was it notable because the Red Sox lost for the 2nd straight game, but with the Cleveland Indians win, all 5 American League teams that would qualify right now for the postseason have a better record than the best record in the National League. So it's tough right now. The haves and have-nots are separated in this league much more than the other league.
You really felt that way leading into the trade deadline. Some of those better teams loading up, some of the other teams unloading. But you're right, separation's unbelievable.
Really not much of a middle class at all this year in the AL. Teams that are going to win 100 or more, teams that are going to lose 100 or more. Boston could win more than 110. Baltimore could lose more than 110. So the Mariners on pace for 92 wins, but some work to do here in the final 6 weeks.
3 teams in the American League West with 90+ wins.
Could easily happen. Easily.
Some of the current standings in the American League West.
Astros have 6 more with the Mariners and 3 more with Oakland. Tony Kemp draws a walk after getting down in the count 0-2. Julia.
Well, everyone feeling good after yesterday's big win over Oakland with the 5 homers. There was 1 for Evan Gattis and 1 for Alex Bregman. So they're tied for the team lead, 24 home runs. And I asked about this competition, as it seems, between these two, and Alex all but confirmed it. He said, Gattis keeps getting ahead of me, so I have to stay with him. But he said, I would definitely like to keep this going. I really don't care who wins at the end of the day, just as long as we keep adding to these totals, TK.
Especially if they get over 30 each. That would be nice.
That would be really nice.
If you asked at the beginning of the season who was going to lead the Astros in home runs, I'm not sure if your first choice. Yeah, that was probably going to be your first choice, or George. Right?
Yes, definitely. Absolutely.
Possibly Altuve.
Yeah. But Evan Gattis, is great to see him after last year kind of being pushed out of that DH spot and leading the Astros in home runs in 2016 with 32. Kind of took a back seat with Carlos Beltran on the team. Now he's back into the home run swing of things. Outside corner opening up a little bit.
Alex thought he might get 30 this year, but not many other people were thinking this would be a 30 home run season for Alex Bregman.
But that's just the Alex Bregman mentality, is that you don't believe me, I will show you and then do better. And that's what you like about Alex Bregman. He's got that mentality where he's just going to prove the entire planet wrong.
He did better at the stair yesterday too. That was his best of the season.
Stepping every part of his game up.
Grounded foul. 1-2. Alex starting the day with that OPS back over 900. He's at 905. That's an aggressive Astros outfit.
How do you know he's an Astro fan?
Just a guess.
It's a bold statement.
Is that the Bregman bunch shirt next to him?
It could
Is that what
be.
I just saw? 1-2 pitch is into left field, coming on Span. He'll play it on a hop. Alex Bregman, a base hit. Bregman has now reached base in 40 consecutive road games, joining Jeff Bagwell twice and Jose Altuve one other time as the only player to get 40 or more on the road.
Swing is looking good right now. Good bat path for Alex Bregman, staying through that. Didn't barrel it up the way he wanted to, but being able to stay through it allows him to get that hit.
Now Felix will deal with a guy who not only hit a home run 415 feet his first time up, but has good career numbers against the King, even when he's been at his best. Marwin now 7 for 19 with 2 home runs. Down and in, it's 1-0.
Marwin's home run, according to StatCast, was healthy. 106.4 off the bat. Great launch angle at 31. 415 feet.
Bregman, the first right-hand hitter to reach base today for the Astros. Marwin hit the home run. Josh Reddick walked. Tony Kemp walked. Now Marwin batting for the second time. Marwin drives one to right field. Well hit. In between Gamble and Haniger to the wall. Kemp with Bregman right behind him. Kemp will score. Bregman will be safe. Astros retake the lead. It's 3-2. Marwin Gonzalez has driven in all 3 tonight.
He is seeing the ball good.
On the bases, nice read. Good read right there. Oh, wait, Tony.
Just too low of a launch angle. If he elevates that a little bit more, he's got his second home run, but he has been swinging the bat well here at Safeco Field the last 2 times through. Starting off great tonight against King Felix. Tony Kemp, a little bit of an issue with the read on that, but Alex Bregman knew for sure that that was a rocket into the gap and he was going to score. What a great read. Astros answering back.
That's one as a hitter, Blummer. You probably are going up to Bregman afterwards and saying, thank you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Because you just gave me an extra RBI.
You are very grateful for those guys that get great reads and score from first base on doubles.
Here's Yuli, who popped up his first time up. Ground ball towards the hole into left field. Marwin had to hold up momentarily, so he's unable to score, but the Astros with 3 consecutive hits after the leadoff walk by Tony Kemp.
Good decision by Marwin to hold his ground, but this is on his double. Watch Alex. He knows exactly where those outfielders are at. He knows exactly how well that ball was hit and knew that they had no chance. So he just put his head down, ran through home plate to give Marwin that second RBI on that double. That was beautifully done. He's talking to Marwin right now going, yeah, I got you.
Greg always in the game, hanging out with the AL MVP. Felix was not backing up home plate on that throw back in. And see what King's done in his career against Houston, Blummer.
Man, the last 5 starts, that goes back to 2015. It has not been pretty. One of those outings, I believe, was just a third of an inning where he gave up 8 runs at Minute Maid Park, but they have been putting a pounding on King Felix. 9 home runs in 5 starts, now 6 starts and 10 home runs. Woo.
So here's Carlos. I think Carlos was frustrated his first time up, felt like some close pitches that he maybe didn't pull the trigger on, and now he'll bat with first and third and nobody out. They check Yuli at first, who was barely off the bag. Carlos, an RBI opportunity, has just 3 hits since coming back from the DL, but 4 runs batted in.
Oh, I appreciate you bringing up the RBI opportunity, because when you're struggling and you see a situation like this, it creates a great opportunity that I don't think he's going to come through on.
No, Carlos is going to be really frustrated with that, AB, as he pops up in foul territory for the first out of the inning. This week on Astros Bases Loaded, we take a look back at the Astros Legends Home Run Derby with Preston Wilson and Jeff Blum wired for sound. Also, Astros players will tell us how they decided to use their bat that they use for games and what they do to get them game ready. Plus, Bart will visit with Tony Kemp about the success he has had this year. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded coming up after the game, only on AT&T Sportsnet. So now Tyler White bats with first and third and 1 out. And White fouls one back, and just below us, strike 1.
Man, thought I was going to get me one. Last time we were here, I got one.
You did?
Yes, remember it hit my monitor.
Oh yeah, well, the monitor got one.
But it ended up being mine. It's actually in my bag, I think.
Well, the Astros have to take advantage here. Tyler trying to at least get the run in from third. Astros scoring 2 in the inning, threatening for more. That one bounces away. Marwin's coming all the way down the line. He is safe. Ball gets away. Yuli's going to get to second and stay there. What a read by Marwin getting down the line. It's 4-2.
No, Marwin anticipating ball in the dirt is why he scored on that, because that didn't kick that far away from Zunino. Zunino going with the glove instead of trying to block it. Ricochets away, but that was a great angle right there to see Marwin. When you're leading off at third base, or pretty much any base, you want to be heavy on that right leg that's leaning towards the upcoming base, and that's why he scored.
Marwin beating King Felix to the plate. And now a pitch is a breaking ball for a ball. It's 2-1. This is such a tough spot for Scott Service, too. He knows he's got the legend here making his 400th appearance as a Mariner, who has not fared well in 2018. He wants to give him a chance to work through this as Tyler White hooks one towards the King's court and over the King's court, off the upper deck and back onto the field. Julia.
More on that. Scott Service today, when he was asked about what he needs from Felix Hernandez today, he said, I need innings. That bullpen has been taxed over the weekend. So that was the goal coming in, was that Felix was going to go as long as he can. Had a very long leash as they are leaning on their starter today.
2-2 pitches popped down the right field side, long run, and headed towards the crowd and into the crowd. Yeah, Julia, you're right. They actually needed Andrew Romine to pitch a couple of games in that Dodgers series. The infielder pitched on Friday and on Sunday in those blowout losses, trying to save the bullpen, because they've actually used 6 different starters during this stretch here, with Paxton going on the DL.
Yeah, I don't know if anything's changed, but when we got the lineup card, I only counted, what, 6 relievers in the bullpen for Scott Service, and that's not too many.
White grounds one towards third. Seager on a couple of hops makes the play across. And White retired for the second out. So 2 outs. Yulee still on second, and Josh Reddick will bat. Reddick walked on 4 pitches his first time up. Tonight, the righties in the Astros lineup are 2 for 8. Bregman a single, Yulee a single. The lefties are 2 for 2 and have been on base all 4 times, and we're counting Marwin as a lefty, the switch hitter batting lefty against Felix. There's a strike to Reddick. Josh went 1 for 11 in that series against the Oakland A's, his former team. Coming in batting .243. One the count. Felix having to work hard this inning, up to 53 pitches in the third. Two and one. Coming into this game, Felix had done better in terms of batting average against lefties than righties, but lefties had shown more power against him this year.
Yeah, that home run by Marwin was the 13th he'd given up to a left-handed hitter this season, and the OPS coming into this game was .853.
D. Gordon in shallow right makes the play. Reddick retired for the final out, but the Astros score 3 and lead it 4-2.
Spotlight, and it is shining on Justin Verlander, who joined some pretty elite company with that 200 career win yesterday over the Oakland A's with the 2,500 or more strikeouts. In the American League all-time, he joins Walter Johnson, Mike Mussina. It's just a couple of great names on that list, right? For him, well, that Bob Feller was the other one, excuse me. But Justin Verlander yesterday was treated to a champagne celebration in the clubhouse, guys. Lots of champagne was popped and sprayed, and he said that was extremely special. He also said 200 was special just because of the longevity, that he takes a lot of pride in that as well. And Garrett Cole was a big part of the celebration as he stood up and gave a speech and just kind of went through some of the accolades that Verlander has put up over his career, and really took some time on this speech as he looked up some numbers, went back to his first major league start. So pretty impressive, but Verlander taking all of that in, all of this very special, of course, because of the longevity and how long he's been able to do it at a very high level.
Yeah, tip of the cap to that guy right there. What a career it's already been, and we've seen him for less than a season, or less than a full year, I should say, as an Astro. Ground ball with Carlos Correa pinching the middle. It finds its way into the outfield for a base hit. So Segura, who reached on an error by Correa his first time up, singles to start the third inning here.
It's almost as if they were playing him the other way. Breaking ball that Segura gets around and yanks, but yeah, they're playing him up the middle the other way. That's not a typical shift situation with a right-handed hitter up there. You know, and getting back to milestones, like Justin Verlander just achieved with 200 wins. I was lucky enough to be around for Lance Berkman's 300th. I was on the ball club when Pudge Rodriguez got his 300th home run. I was actually on base when he hit his 300th. We celebrated that, and then we were in Arlington in an Astros uniform. All this happened, and he broke the all-time games caught record for catchers. And we had little meetings and little celebrations after that too when those guys do that.
This ball is driven to right field, sending Reddick all the way back. He is at the track, and the ball is going to die just shy of the wall in right field. Nelson Cruz sending one all the way to the warning track, but that's allowed out here in the third.
I thought he got it.
I think he did too. He keeps looking back.
He's got plenty of power to be able to drive it out the other way. Actually, you could see where it hit a little bit up on the barrel. Didn't exactly square it up, but I think you're right. I think he thought he got enough of it to get it out of here.
Well, we mentioned the conditions here are a little bit different tonight with the fires in British Columbia that have kind of put a little smoke cover all over the city of Seattle and throughout the surrounding area. And that could impact if it's a heavier air. Who knows? But Cruz kept looking back like, I thought that ball was going.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about it too. Yeah, a lot of people on Twitter asking, you know, is it foggy here? No, it's just smoke. A lot of the wind bringing that smoke in here. That's why there's that haze hovering around the ballpark right now. But it was 100 miles an hour off the bat. 30-degree launch angle, which is pretty good, but only a 68% hit probability. And it only went 343 feet.
So,
But it still feel like it should have.
So that's interesting to me. It's 0-1 to span because 68% hit probability means that maybe some of those baseballs go out.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't exactly a line drive. It was in the air for a little while. So maybe the ball just didn't travel there based on launch angle and exit velocity.
And if I was better at working StatCast,
you're fine.
I'd be able to
see what percentage of those,
yeah,
when you match them up, are home runs. You'll get there.
Yeah, I'll just disappear for 3 or 4 innings, but I'll get there.
0-2 pitch is, where is that? Cole wants to know. It's 1-2. A little up.
I guess, but we saw a breaking ball earlier, I believe, to Maldonado. That was a curveball from King Felix that he got the call in a similar area.
Pitch is down. It's 2-2. Wow, you found it. What do you have?
Conquered it.
What percentage of those baseballs hit with that exit velocity and that launch angle go out?
47%.
How about that?
Interesting, right?
Yeah, and almost all of them towards that right field area where he hit his, right?
There actually are quite a few.
So Cruz may be right in being a little curious why that ball didn't carry. It's still 2-2. Even more impressive what Marwin did earlier in this game.
Yeah, he demolished that baseball to right. This is a tough ballpark to hit at. We talked about it over the years, how they've moved in that left center field gap to 376, but that right center field gap still hanging at 380. And it shoots out pretty quickly from that right field line from 326 to 380.
Swing and a miss. Cole strikes out Denard Span. And with his 5th strikeout tonight, Garrett Cole taking over the American League lead in strikeouts. He now has 224, one more than his teammate Justin Verlander.
Not the greatest of pitches, but effective enough to get another swing and miss.
Cole and Verlander, you get the impression, are going to go back and forth in the strikeout race. Julie mentioned earlier with Chris Sale on the DL, Trevor Bauer on the DL. These two guys, every other start, could be passing the other one. Here's Kyle Seager. Seager takes a called strike. Good for Garrett, too, to do the work yesterday and put together a little speech for Justin Verlander. Garrett Cole recognizing he's really a student of the game. He knows a lot of history and recognizing the importance of what Verlander has done here in 412 starts in his career. One of 20 pitchers ever to have 200 wins in 412 or fewer starts.
Well, and it brings up an interesting conversation, especially that graphic that Julia had with the 2,500 strikeouts, 200 plus wins. Two of the guys on there in the Hall of Fame. Mike Mussina's not. And Justin Verlander's working his way towards consideration for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think he's getting very close.
Well, I think those numbers, 4 guys have done it,
yeah.
and half of them are in the Hall of Fame. Why? Shouldn't they all?
You would think. Keep it consistent, especially with wins being tougher to come by as the years have gone by. I mean, that's what makes it impressive to me even more so, is that Verlander is one of 20 to do so in 412 starts.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, a guy like Verlander would stay in games 7 or 8 innings, 9, get a lot of CGs, and that's just not the way games are played anymore. So his win total could even be higher if he pitched in a different era.
And I appreciate what he said about the wins mean something to him, but not necessarily in the overall scope of how good a pitcher is.
Garrett Cole comes back with a strong inning after a leadoff base hit, strikes out a couple.
Game. Minute Maid Park offers fans a variety of premium seating opportunities, including club and suite level seats for any group size. Visit astros.com/suites or call 1-877-9-ASTROS to reserve your luxury suite today.
Astros fans in the first row down the left field side as we start the 4th inning with Evan Gattis leading off against Felix Hernandez. Gattis flied out to right his first time up. 4 for his last 31, but 3 of those 4 hits are home runs. Astros with 4 hits, Mariners with 4 hits. Astros lead this game 4-2 as Gattis grounds one foul. Some good fielding fans in the crowd tonight. 1-1. Just one-hand snags all over the place. Oakland leading their game tonight. We'll keep an eye on that one as the A's trail the Astros by a game in the AL West. Oakland up 4-0 on Texas. Gattis takes a high strike. It's 1-2.
It might be the changeup.
I just love it. I mean, Evan with that hand off the bat.
His takes are pretty incredible, aren't they?
All the time.
If he gets the forearm to one of those, he might get a base hit out of it.
Knock one out.
Yep.
Gattis facing King Felix in his 4th inning of work. Felix still stretched out. We mentioned in that relief outing in his lone bullpen appearance of his career on Tuesday, went 5 2/3 innings. gets a called third strike. All the strikeouts tonight for King Felix have been called third strikes. That's 3 of them in the first out of the 4th.
And they've been on the curveball too. At least what looks like the curveball. Sometimes that changeup can look like a split, but that was the breaking ball, and it has locked up. And it's almost as if he's throwing it at the right-handed hitters and breaking it back over the plate.
Well, we mentioned earlier that he's throwing the fastball at a lower percentage than any other point in his career. That means some other pitch has to be on a higher usage. And the curveball has been the pitch he's gone to more often this year than ever before. Curveball this year being thrown 27% of the time, the fastball 42% of the time. He's a guy in the mid-50s for a while in his career in fastball percentage, and usually that curveball was somewhere between 15 and 20%. Throwing the fastball less, the curveball more. It's 0-1 on Martin Maldonado, who fouls one back. It's 0-2. Maldonado came up to bat in the 9th inning yesterday and needed just a single for the cycle. Admitted to Julia after the game that he was thinking about it. But he ended up grounding out the third. It was still a phenomenal day for Martin. Double, triple homer. Slowly hit towards third. Seager's going to have to hustle, and he makes a quick transfer and a strong throw to get Maldonado for the second out. Well, 2 outs, nobody on here in the 4th. Now bring up Tony Kemp.
He led off that 3rd inning with the walk, and that's one thing Tony Kemp has been doing good out of that 9 spot. 417 on base percentage coming into this game out of the 9th spot.
Fouls went out of play.
Finally got our first error in the stands. There's a guy with a glove.
Bare hand plays are being made. The glove plays not so much.
Yep.
Lots of Astros fans again here at Safeco Field. Good to see Astros fans representing wherever we show up. 0-2 the count to Kemp. This was the count last time he was up. He was down the count 0-2, and he drew the walk and started the 3-run rally. Tony fouls one away.
Interesting going to the fastball 0-2, because last time up you talked about the 0-2 count. He went to the breaking balls, and Tony Kemp did a good job of laying off them.
Mentioned that Felix has had 3 strikeouts, all called strikes. There's only been 1 swinging strike so far tonight. Wow. And that is a guy that's just not fooling a lot of people.
Yep.
14 foul balls, 1 swinging strike. We are going to see a big discrepancy in swinging strikes tonight between the starting pitchers, as Garrett Cole typically gets a lot of swinging strikes. Tonight, 8 so far. Tony continues to stay alive, down 1-2. Kings Court looking for a strikeout here. And Kemp swings through it. There you go. Second swinging strike of the game, and a 1-2-3 inning for the King.
Day presented by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Fans interested in bringing their dog to the park that night are required to buy a special Dog Day ticket package. For tickets and more info, visit astros.com/Dog Day. My favorite day of the year. I'm going to be hanging out at a booth that night.
Are you?
Houston Pets Alive booth. We're going to have some dogs up for adoption.
So we're not televising that one, are we?
So no, we're not.
Good for you.
So I'm just going to play with puppies. It's going to be great.
Watch baseball.
And watch baseball.
That's a good combination. Ben Gamble leads things off in the bottom of the fourth, down 0-2. Gamble flied out to right his first time up. Foul ball into the Mariners dugout. Garrett Cole striking out 2 last inning, and a big shutdown inning for Cole. The Astros had just given him the second lead of the night after a 1-0 lead in the first went away. Scoring 3 in the third, and Cole was able, after a leadoff hit by Segura, to get the next 3 batters.
I thought it was a good sign after Cole giving up that. It was a base hit, but not one of the more aggressive base hits you're going to see in big league baseball. But Segura kind of snuck one through the infield, and Cole didn't let it get to him. He just went after Cruz, Span, and Seager to get through that inning.
1-2 the count. Gamble has done well this year at home, batting .341, coming into the game overall .290. Field for a base hit. Gamble will take a turn at first with Reddick in right. He will not challenge him. Josh gets back in quickly, but for the second consecutive inning and 3 out of the first 4, the Mariners have a hit to start the inning.
Some of these left-handed hitters are getting hits on that slider from Garrett Cole. Not really burying that pitch down and in where it's more effective.
Here's Mike Zunino, strikeout victim his first time up. Mentioned the combination of Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander going back and forth in the strikeout race. They have a very good chance to end up being the top strikeout duo in Astros franchise history before this season's over.
That's saying something.
How about that? They're currently 4th on the all-time list. Hit hard to left field, and that's going to split the gap and go all the way to the wall. Then Gamble headed to third. He will be waved around, and he will score a run. Zunino with an RBI double. It's now a 4-3 game.
Looked like it might have been in that turbo zone down for Zunino. Center cut fastball. Zunino gets the head on it. Rips it into the gap.
First career hit for Zunino against Garrett Cole. He had been 0 for 10, and now Cole faces D. Gordon, who singled the last time. And D fouls one off the top of the screen and into the crowd. It's 0-1. Well, Garrett's given up 6 hits so far in the 4th inning. A little higher number than we're used to. Garrett coming in with an opponent batting average of 188, good for 3rd, lowest in the American League. Ball sliced. Marwin towards the crowd, gives it a look, but it's into the crowd. Cole ahead of Gordon, 0-2. Six hits tonight by the Mariners match the second most hits Garrett Cole has allowed as an Astro. He allowed 8 against the Texas Rangers on July the 4th. He's had a few other starts where he's allowed 6, including tonight.
This is his 6th start in 26 games he started this season where he's given up 6 or more hits.
So unusual to see an opposing team picking up these kinds of hits on Cole. Almost all singles, although the last double by Zunino. Cano had a double in the first, so 4 of 6 singles. There's a little excuse me on a ball that was in the dirt, and a nice play by Bregman to get D. Gordon. That looked like it was going to be a hit.
The ball bounced a foot out in front of the plate, and he made contact with it.
And then once the ball was in play, I thought he was going to be safe.
Well, with his speed, it took a great play. Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
It took a great play from Alex Bregman to get D. Gordon, who can fly. He almost turned that into a hit.
Do you know cricket rules?
Not that well. I know if it hits the stakes, it counts as a wicket googly, I think.
Now runner on third with 1 out. Mitch Haniger, the batter, infield in, and there's a swinging strike. I've seen that before where guys have hit the ball on the bounce, but not that far in front of the plate.
Garrett Cole's like, what just happened? Can I get a strikeout on that? Or
that was crazy.
It was.
Upstairs, it's 1-1. Good job by Bregman, though, staying focused, getting the out at first. Bregman and Zunino having a little discussion over at third base. You know, the infield's in, but it seems like, just to me, that they're in almost a little too close, because you just need to be as close as you're comfortable with the runner at third base, and Zunino is not a fast runner. You could almost play halfway. And now they're kind of backing up a little bit. There's a nice breaking ball for a strike. It's 2-2.
It's another one of those pitches that was so good it almost fooled Maldonado back there, who's getting used to some of the stuff that Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander, Charlie Morton, and those guys come out with.
Try to get a swing there, and he does not go around, says Mike Winters, and the count's full. Close to a swing.
Good call.
You know Garrett wants to strike out here with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. Ground ball towards Bregman. Zunino has to stay at third. Bregman's throw on the money. Nice play by Alex. Second out of the inning.
Getting tested in this inning. Where this ball was hit created a little bit of an interesting decision making for Alex Bregman. Why not put a tag on him just in case you get the call, but stay and finish the play? Good job.
Alex continuing to have a running conversation with Zunino over at third. And there's 2 outs. Now Cole has to get Robinson Cano. Cano doubled his first time and also struck out.
That's that good breaking ball down and in.
Cano missed 80 games from May 15th through August 13th. Last games he missed of the suspension were at the last series against the Astros at Minute Maid Park. Takes a pitch for a ball. It's 1-1. Cano with his 523rd career double in the first inning. When you're tied with Willie Mays in a category, it's a good thing, and that's who he tied with that double. 2-1 the count. Zunino an RBI double. He's on third base with 2 outs in a 1-run game. It's getting after Cano's like, I see you.
Yeah, okay. At least I heard it go by. Lightning rod going through the strike zone.
We've seen a couple of Hundies this year.
I prefer Hundo.
Hundo?
Yeah. I'd like to see one right now.
Breaking ball gets through. Maldonado coming in to try and score. Out at home plate is Zunino. Cole covering. The ball bounded back to Maldonado, who flipped it to Garrett for the final out of the inning. Scott Service says, hold on a second, but here's a look.
It is Marwin Gonzalez leaning back on King Felix. He is 2 for 2. Big home run in that first AB, and then with a couple of guys on, roped a line drive into that right center field corner, scoring 2. Marwin seeing the ball well off of King Felix, contributing to this lead that the Astros have by driving in 3.
He'll bat second in this inning as the Astros have the top of the order due up in the 5th. Felix Hernandez facing this lineup a 3rd time. Alex Bregman a single and a run scored his last time up. 1 for 2 on the night and 4 for 7 in his career against Felix, including a home run. Julia said that Bregman and Gaddis keep going back and forth, and this little race for the lead for the team home run lead. And Alex currently with 24 and Gaddis with 24. Alex with good numbers against Felix. He grounds this one on 2 hops to Seager. 1 third baseman makes the play on the other, and there's 1 away in the 5th. How about that play to end the inning last inning?
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it?
Ball that goes through Maldonado all the way to the backstop, and it still results in an out. Prevented a tie game.
Yeah, the read at third base tells you that with the ball getting past the catcher, you got a chance, but the way it ricocheted back so quick to Maldonado, no chance. We've seen a couple breaks go the Astros' way here in the last couple of games, which is good to see.
Here's Marwin. Feeling very comfortable at the plate tonight against Felix. 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Takes a called strike there. It's 1-1. Marwin up to 50 runs batted in on the year. It's been an uphill climb for him after a slow start. A month of August has been kind, coming in with a 304 average now with 6 home runs and 12 RBIs in the month in 16 games. Just missed. It's 2-2. Felix starting the inning with 69 pitches.
Good eye.
Mariners have put some pitches on Garrett Cole tonight. Garrett's thrown 77 through 4. So now Marwin with a full count. Marwin has always done well against the Mariners throughout his career. 17 career home runs and a .315 average. Rounds this one foul.
Yeah, he hasn't been fooled by too much here recently. Seattle's a great place for the Astros to hit. They've always put up pretty good numbers here.
You have seen earlier about the consecutive series the Astros have won here in Seattle. Hoping to keep that streak going, which is currently at 7. It's been a road team dominated season series this year.
Yeah, it has. Nothing proved it more than that 4-game sweep at Minute Maid Park by Seattle.
Mariners 5-1 at Minute Maid Park, and the Astros 5-2 at Safeco Field. .3-2 pitch, and Marwin has a 3rd hit. Home run, double, and single. He is 3 for 3, a triple shy of the cycle. We're only in the 5th inning.
I believe that was a changeup at 86 out over the plate. Good job by Marwin staying up the middle.
Marwin has 3 of the Astros' 5 hits. Here the Astros faring well here in Seattle with their pitchers dominating with a sub-2 ERA. That was to start tonight's play. Yuli takes one outside for a ball. Yuli has one of the other 2 hits. He and Alex Bregman with singles in the 3rd. The rest has been all Marwin.
Marwin also has 3 of the hardest hit baseballs in this game for the Astros. So he is seeing the ball well.
That one catches the outside corner. It's 1-1. Yuli, not the same success Marwin has had against Felix in his career. With that hit, though, in his last time up, he does have 2 hits, but in 13 at-bats. Marwin's now up to 9 for 21. And a strike called. It's 1-2. Felix with 4 strikeouts tonight. 3 called 3rd strikes, and he got Tony Kemp swinging to end the 4th. He is in rare company in terms of strikeouts and 400 appearances for one team. Tonight is 400th game pitched for the Mariners. Only Tom Seaver with the Mets, Steve Carlton with the Phillies, and Bob Gibson with the Cardinals. With that many games pitched and the same total of strikeouts that Felix has, as he is approaching 2,450. keep it in perspective, Justin Verlander, all that time with the Tigers, never got to 400 games started for Detroit.
Yeah, those loyalty numbers are going to be tough to come by in the future of baseball. Free agency, trades.
Really, last 2 pitches has fouled at the plate, doing some damage to himself.
King Felix is getting in there with 90.
Mariners had huge crowds during the weekend, as you might imagine. A lot of fans of the Dodgers found themselves here in the Pacific Northwest, and there's a breaking ball for a called 3rd strike. Felix with 5 strikeouts, 4 of them called, and there's 2 away in the 5th.
4 of them called, 4 of them on the breaking ball. They're almost backing up so much that the Astro hitters don't know how to react to them.
See if Carlos Correa can get things going. Still have not seen Carlos with consistent at bats since he's come off the DL. His 36 games with that back injury. Since coming back, he is just 3 for 30. Takes a called strike. Carlos has struck out and popped up tonight. He just hits the ball hard somewhere to kind of get him going.
Yep. Like a home run right now.
That would work.
Yep.
He's down to count 0-2.
Good break on that curveball.
Runner was on the move. Marwin Gonzalez stranded. We head to the bottom of the 5th in a 4-3 game.
You buy T-Mobile, some good defense. Show up to a baseball game and you got to make a cricket play. Alex Bregman on the run, barehanding it, getting with Speedy D. Gordon. Then with the runner at 3rd base, he has a couple of options, tag and throw. Good job of finishing off that play. But how about getting the 3rd out at home? Pretty good ricochet off the backstop. Garrett Cole, Johnny on the spot, makes the tag. Interesting defensive inning for the Astros.
Kept the game at 4-3. That's where we are as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Robinson Cano with a fresh count. He was batting when that ball got through Maldonado, and the Astros were able to record the final out of the 4th inning. Cano doubled and struck out. Cole will face 2, 3, and 4 in the Mariners lineup this inning. One the count. Garrett allowing 6 base hits. He has also struck out 6. Has walked 1 tonight. Cano looked like he was in take mode the whole way. It's 1-2. Mentioned that Garrett Cole with a little bit of a higher pitch count tonight, 77 through 4. AJ would love to see Garrett negotiate 6 innings if possible, and Cano taking the last 2 pitches right over the plate, and he is down looking. 7 strikeouts for Cole.
Didn't break.
But he also took that 1-1 pitch like he was in take mode. That was right in the middle.
Yeah, those last 2 pitches, like you said, basically right down the middle. Tricked him.
7 for Cole. And now here's Gene Segura. We mentioned that Cole and Verlander are a tandem that are 4th all time in the Astros strikeout list. The other 3 tandems ahead of them. Next up on the list would be the Don Wilson Larry Dierker combo in 1969 that struck out 467. Cole and JV are at 449 right now. Then you go to Mike Scott and Nolan Ryan, who struck out 500 combined in 86. And then Noli and Mike Scott again in 87 when they combined for 503. He's got 7 more starts if everything goes right. Verlander's got 7 more starts. And they basically need 50 more strikeouts, 55 more strikeouts to get there. You got to think that's going to happen.
Sounds possible. The rate these guys go. You talked about pitch counts. How about Garrett Cole last time out against Colorado, went 6 innings through 86 pitches. So there was a reason that he got out of that game quickly, because AJ Hinch wanted to save that arm a little bit. So I wonder how it affects this start if he wants him to go maybe an extra inning and get into the hundreds as far as pitch count is concerned.
Well, I think he does for 2 reasons. One of them you just mentioned, that he had a low pitch count last time, and the other one is tomorrow's a bullpen day.
Yep.
And AJ normally wouldn't mind having to go to his bullpen to get 12 outs or 10 outs, but tonight he'd probably rather try and get 9 if possible, just because he's going to be using his bullpen to start the game. And there's a called strike that Gene Segura doesn't like at all.
Wow. Taking a walk to the back of the box there to have a conversation with Mike Machlinski, catching the bottom part of the zone. That's traditionally, we don't see too many breaking balls get the call.
Ball hit into left field, hanging up for Marwin. He makes the play for at number 2. Oh, 2 outs, base is empty. And Cole will face Nelson Cruz. Garrett has not really been pushed, not just last start, but his last 3. Has not thrown 100 pitches in any of those 3. And this is a guy who was amongst the leaders in the first few months of the season in pitches per start. Just almost every one of them had been over 100, and then the last 3 AJ's backed off a little bit, 99, 93, and 86. So today we would fully expect AJ to be back with that 100 to 110 range.
Yeah, he's not afraid to let him go over that number, is he? He's averaging the most pitches at 103 in this rotation.
1-1 the count. Garrett likes the work. He's a guy like Verlander that regularly will get to 200 innings. The other way, base hit down the right field line. Nelson Cruz will head towards second. Josh Reddick gets the ball back in. Cruz with a 2-out double. Hit number 7 for the Mariners.
Saw Nelson Cruz almost drive one out the other way. That was an extremely late attack on that fastball for Nelson Cruz, and he snuck it past Tyler White at first. The only man over there. It's one of those anomalies you can't account for. It's not a traditional swing or base hit for Nelson Cruz.
Martin Maldonado with a word for Garrett before he faces Denard Span. still has a chance to be his lowest pitch count inning. Span's been good since coming over in late May from Tampa Bay. He has hit over 300 for the Mariners. Drove in the second run of this game on a sacrifice fly his first time up, and then struck out his last time. Foul ball. Cruz at second base with 2 outs. Tony Sipp beginning to warm up in the Astros bullpen.
Kyle Seager and Ben Gamble back-to-back left-handed hitters after Denard Span.
Want to win the count. This is the point in the lineup AJ likes to call them pockets, where he's got consecutive left-handers with this guy and then the next 2. And then that D. Gordon after Zunino, so 4 out of 5. Garrett Cole would prefer to finish off the inning himself. He throws a 98 mile an hour fastball that's fouled back. It's 1-2.
Yeah, you definitely know he'd want to finish this thing off. It would take something pretty drastic for AJ Hinch to come out and get him just so he qualifies for the win.
Low 2-2. 7 hits, second most allowed in an Astros uniform by Garrett Cole in his 26th start of the year. Tough takes by Span. The count goes full. Ball 4. So a 2-out double followed by a walk. Span down to the count 1-2, draws a walk.
Ball in off the plate.
Pitches 4 and 5 were just a little low. Some good takes, but some dangerous takes by Span worked in his favor. So here's Kyle Seager with 2 on and 2 out. Seager has walked and struck out. Second walk issued by Garrett. Up and away, 1-0. I think Garrett might, in his comments after the game, say that it was not his best game with command. He's seemed to have been battling tonight. Has been locked in at times, but it's eluded him in other stretches. Ground ball towards first, and it's just foul. Just missed the bag at first. White was there if it stayed fair. Instead, it's 1-1.
I agree, and I also feel like some of the teams that they've been playing have been putting together some really good at-bats. The Oakland A's put together some great at-bats against the Astros starting rotation, forcing that pitch count up early. Same thing we're seeing here tonight with Cole. I feel like the same thing happened last time he did face Seattle a couple of starts ago.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Cole's a guy that works hard, we mentioned, and he just threw that one 99 on pitch number 98 of the game.
He's got it. He's going to need something special to get through this inning.
He may not go 100 to 110 pitches if he finishes this inning here, because he has really worked hard in all 5 innings. He has not had one clean inning and had multiple base runners on in 3 of the 5. Fly ball, left field. Marwin waiting for it. And Garrett Cole through 5 with a 4-3 lead. Tyler White, Josh Reddick, Evan Gattis due up. Then is brought to you by Rooms to Go. Get big savings during the Labor Day sale. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. Astros and Mariners in a 1-run game as we head to the 6th inning. Astros playing game 4 of this 9-game road trip. 2 more here in Seattle after tonight. Day off Thursday, and then 3 in Anaheim against the Angels. Astros facing the 3 teams directly behind them in the standings in the AL West in succession. Oakland in 2nd place, Seattle in 3rd place, the Angels in 4th place as Tyler White takes a breaking ball for a strike. Felix has been able to drop that curveball in where he starts it off with the right-hand hitter. And it's been dropping in for called strikes tonight. This fastball is bounced foul and it's 0-2. In Oakland tonight, the A's lead the Texas Rangers 7-0. The former Astro Mike Fiers pitching for Oakland tonight. Pitching well.
In-state rivals aren't helping out.
Nope.
"91 pitches from King Felix. 32 of them have been the curveball.
Wow. Even this year where he's thrown it more often than any other, that's a high percentage as Tyler White grounds out for the 3rd time tonight. Well, Plummer, if you break down what's remaining, 38 games for the Astros and the A's, 37 for the Mariners. And the Astros have the most games against teams 500 or better.
Interesting stretch these teams are going to be involved in. The A's having to play the New York Yankees. The Seattle Mariners finished with 10 between Baltimore and Texas. The Astros still have Toronto and Baltimore to deal with.
That'll be how they finish the year.
Those could be very important games against some teams that are well out of the race.
What you'll see is, as Reddick bats with an 0-1 count, is expanded rosters. Teams in the Blue Jays and Orioles that are out of it, you might see 25 players playing a game for one of those two teams. It'll be young players, you know, getting a chance to play in meaningful games. And Reddick sends one high in the air to center field, but back there is Haniger. We mentioned earlier, ball not carrying very well tonight. We thought Nelson Cruz may have got one earlier that Reddick caught on the track. Josh got under that one a bit, and that's a fly out to center field for out number 2. I'll bring up Evan Gattis. I'll give Felix Hernandez credit. He had allowed 4 runs through the first 3 innings, a guy who has struggled all season long, but now he's retired 11 of the last 12 batters he has faced. Gattis fouls one away.
Well, considering what he's doing against who he's doing it to, he's got to give him some credit moving forward. Not that the Astros were tearing the cover off the baseball, but if you're beating them while they're wearing that gray uniform, that's doing something.
Felix with that 5th strikeout in the 5th inning. Followed up by the 6th strikeout to end the 5th. Matched and then passed Andy Pettitte for the most strikeouts in Major League Baseball history. Felix currently 40th on the all-time list. Justin Verlander started 42nd on that list to begin the season, and JV's now up to number 24 all-time. Felix got Evan Gattis on a called 3rd strike his last time up, ahead 0-2, and Evan fouls one back. 1-2 the count. 5 hits for the Astros, 3 of them for Marwin Gonzalez. No hits from spots 4 through 9 in the lineup.
Oof.
Oh for 14 with only a Tony Kemp walk to show for it. He did score a run there. 1-2 pitch is popped up. Playable. Cano, foul territory, eases over and makes the play. Another 1-2-3 inning. Felix looking good lately.
Performance brought to you by Kubota. Garrett Cole on the evening, 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs given up, only 2 of them earned, a couple of walks and 7 strikeouts in 99 pitches. Had to work through it, kind of a grind for him, and they will give Garrett Cole a rest and get to the bullpen with Tony Sipp on the mound now for the Houston Astros.
Yeah, 2 of the next 3 hitters for the Mariners are lefties, and then 3 of the next 5 if we go all the way through Robinson Cano. So A.J. Hinch going to his lefty here.
38 appearances on the season for Tony Sipp and only 30 innings pitched. Keeping lefties at that 192 average. One home run he gave up this season was the walk-off by Matt Olson in Oakland.
Martin Maldonado has a cheat sheet that he uses for bullpen guys and didn't have it with him. Joe Espada had to hand it off. So he's good to go. Martin's still learning this staff. It is a never-ending process. Moving from one team to another in the middle of the season as a catcher, that is not easy. Ben Gamble leads things off. Sipp will face the 7, 8, 9 hitters in the 6th inning, and a called strike to Gamble. Garrett Cole, with those 5 innings of work, matches his shortest outing as an Astro. 5th time this year Garrett has gone exactly 5 innings. So now it's Sipp, and more bullpen action starting for the Astros as Sipp begins this inning. It's 0-2 to Gamble. That's Ryan Presley. You would imagine Sipp has at least the first 3 hitters, and maybe Presley will be on if they get to the top of the order. Gamble fouls one back. It's still 0-2. One and 2 the count. Mariners a lot of traffic against Cole. Bumped that pitch count up to 99 through 5 innings. 7 hits, 2 walks, also an error in the mix. Garrett leaving with a 1-run lead thanks to a nice job on a ball that deflected off the backstop back to Maldonado, preventing the tying run from scoring. If it misses outside, it's 2-2. Garrett also taking over the American League lead for strikeouts with those 7 tonight. He is 3 ahead of his teammate Justin Verlander. Into center field, long run for Kemp, who is playing the other way, and this ball is down, and fortunately for the Astros, bouncing over the fence. That prevented an easy triple for Gamble.
Yeah, just in the sense that it was hit so hard and Tony Kemp was so far away from it. I'm with you. They benefit from this ball hitting on the warning track and bouncing over. It was 102.5 miles an hour off the bat. That ball struck well by Ben Gamble.
So Sipp will now face Mike Zunino. Zunino doubled in a run his last time up. One and 0. With that double, Zunino snapped an 0 for 17.
Yuli getting in on the action, trying to get a pickoff attempt.
Yuli getting to play more and more second base here the last few weeks with Jose Altuve out.
I think Zunino's a pull hitter.
Slightly.
87% of the baseball's going to the left side.
There's a strike. It's 1-1.
Puts him in kind of a tough spot because usually with the runner at second base, nobody out, you'd like to see the guy try and go the other way to move the runner.
And Gamble can't get a big lead with Yuli playing there near the bag. Fly ball to left field, playable. Marwin is there, a little bit to his right. Puts it away for out number 1. It's time for Lowe's whole team together. Bullpen yesterday very good, preserving what turned out to be a 9-4 win, allowed the Astros to increase that lead.
Biggest of those innings probably from Brad Peacock, working out of some damage with a good slider.
Well, Brad definitely got the biggest out of the game to preserve Justin Verlander's 200th win. Peacock struck out Mark Cannon with the bases loaded to end the 6th in a 2-run game. Here's D. Gordon. D. Gordon hits it hard, but gloved by Tyler White, who gets to the bag himself. On the play, Gamble moves to 3rd, and also that'll be the last batter that Tony Sipp faces tonight. So Sipp will leave with a runner on 3rd base and 2 outs. Gordon hit it hard.
Hit it hard, but in the vicinity of Tyler White. Good snag, snow cone.
It'll be Ryan Presley against Mitch Haniger when we come back in this 1-run game.
We're back here, bottom of the 6th. And an update for you guys. Jose Altuve, good news for him, as today was a rest day. He actually took part on everything on the field, and if all that goes well tomorrow, he will be activated for the Houston Astros tomorrow and be in the lineup for them, as well as I want you to take a look at this picture. Sorry guys, I can't hear anything that's going on, so sorry about that. But Jose Altuve did 1 rehab assignment game, and it was his first game in AAA. He also got his first hit in AAA, and you were looking at the ball. The baseball that was signed had all the information on it. It was very legit and official. He said, I got my first hit in an all-star game and my first hit in a AAA game. I am really proud. TK.
How about that? Finally played in a AAA game as Ryan Presley faces Mitch Haniger here with a tying run on 3rd base and 2 outs and a 1-1 count.
He got an MVP trophy before he got his first AAA hit.
Usually doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that's odd.
4 consecutive 200-hit games, and then goes down to AAA the next year. Or 200-hit seasons. There's a base hit up the middle, and that'll tie the game. Mitch Haniger Singles the center off Presley. He continues to be a thorn in the Astros side. 2 for 4 tonight. And drives in his 79th run of the year.
The Astros have not figured out Mitch Haniger.
That run will be charged to Tony Sipp, who allowed the opening double by Ben Gamble to center field. So here's Robinson Cano.
It'll most likely turn into a battle of bullpens again in this ball game because the Astros offense only able to put 4 runs on Felix Hernandez.
Tony Sipp had gone 15 consecutive games with not allowing a run, and then Matt Olson got him earlier on this road trip Friday night. Walk-off 10th inning home run. And tonight that run charge against Sipp. He's still scoreless in 29 out of 32, but he has allowed runs in his last 2.
Yeah, the last 3 or 4 left-handed hitters he's faced have barreled him up.
Cano fouls that one away. It's 1-1.
Ryan Presley's numbers on the season after 59 appearances between Minnesota and Houston. 81 strikeouts in those 56 innings. It's a very good swing and miss ratio for him.
Overall, only 2 pitchers have pitched in more games than Ryan Presley in the American League. One of them's in the Mariners bullpen, their closer Edwin Diaz. Presley 1 of 4. Tyler Clippard also has 60 games appeared. 1 of 4 who have appeared in 60 games this year. Two and 1 the count. Now 3-1.
Trying to bring that breaking ball over that outside corner, but not enough.
Base hit. This will bounce off the wall. Marlin will try and get it back in a hurry. His throw to second, and Cano is safe. The ball gets away, but no chance for Haniger to score. Looked like they may have had a play on Cano, but he doubles for the 2nd time tonight.
Yeah, I think if Yuli catches that ball, he's out at second base. Pretty good piece of hitting on a curveball up and away by Robinson Cano. He now ties Ken Griffey Jr. with 524 career doubles. But a great throw by Marwin. Short hopped Yuli, who was looking to tag before he caught the ball.
Cano tonight matched Willie Mays, passes Willie Mays, and now matches Ken Griffey Jr.'s total. Pretty good company. Gene Segura bats. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. One inside for ball 1. Double to start the inning by Ben Gamble. Tony Sipp then got 2 outs. Ryan Presley called in out of the bullpen. A single by Haniger to tie the game, and now a double by Cano. Presley trying to keep this game tied, headed to the 7th. strike. It's 1-1. Segura just rejoining the team. Missed the Dodgers series. He was on paternity leave. Last game he played before tonight was Wednesday against the A's. Went 4 for 5 in that game. Tonight he's 1 for 3 with a single. Also reached on an error. On the inside corner, it's 1-2. Defensive swing and a miss. Martin Maldonado will make the throw to first to finish off the inning, but the Mariners tie it on a Mitch Haniger RBI single. It's all knotted at 4.
And yesterday was Martin Maldonado's day. Became the first catcher in team history with a double, triple, and a home run in the same game. This would be that triple after it kicks off Mark Canha out there in center field. Point to your boys and let them know. Also called a great game, motivating some of those guys in that bullpen to fight through that ball game and get that 200th win for Justin Verlander, contributing on both sides of the baseball and working himself nicely into that Astros role behind home plate. I'd like to see him get things going here with a new pitcher on the mound for the Seattle Mariners, as Felix Hernandez's night is done after going 6 strong and outdueling Garrett Cole.
Yeah, Martin, a lot of energy he brings to the table. He'll be leading things off here for the Astros, facing the new pitcher as Adam Warren comes in to pitch the 7th.
They've seen Adam Warren a couple times back in Minute Maid Park. They saw him a couple of those ball games, but he came over from the New York Yankees and has a 2.70 ERA, and he has yet to give up a run against these Astros.
It'll be Maldonado, Tony Kemp, and then the top of the order. As the Astros were able to score 4 runs on King Felix in the first 3 innings, but then he really settled in. He ends up retiring 12 of the last 13 hitters he faced. Maldonado pops one up behind first. Cano looking over his shoulder. It's D. Gordon's play, though, and D makes the catch for out number 1. Julia.
Let's check out the results from today's Chevy Stroh poll. Thank you, as always, for following us on Twitter and voting. Tonight, we asked who was the most dominant righty starter that you've seen since 2005. Lots of love for Justin Verlander, 68%. A big winner. TK.
Hard to argue with 200 W's as Tony Kemp will bat with 1 out and nobody on. Mariners out hitting the Astros 10-5 in a tie 4-4 game. Tony scored the second Astros run tonight. Came in on a Marwin Gonzalez double. He and Alex Bregman scored on that play. Astros led 1-0. Mariners took a 2-1 lead. Astros regained a 4-2 lead. Mariners added single runs in the 4th and the 6th, and we have a brand new ball game. 4-4 in the 7th. Other than a short stint with the Chicago Cubs in 2016 when Warren appeared in 29 games, he'd spent his entire career with the New York Yankees prior to joining Seattle. This ball up in the air. Coming on is Haniger. And that's 2 away in the 7th. Astros have not had any production from spots 4 through 9 in the lineup, with the exception of that Tony Kemp walk. Colin McHugh warming up. McHugh was mentioned as the possibility of being an opening starter tomorrow for the Astros. Saw McHugh throw a lot of pitches yesterday warming up and did not get into the game.
He got loose for a while yesterday.
So they do mark that down, even though he did not appear in the game. They marked down a longish warm-up session as McHugh had. So we'll see if he's eligible tomorrow, but AJ still has not made that determination as to who's going to get the ball to start the Tuesday game.
Yeah, this is really not a wonderful situation going into a bullpen day, and you've got a tie ball game the night before. He hasn't abused the bullpen all year long, but you'd hate to see it in this situation. There's a day off on Thursday.
Astros do have 9 arms to choose from right now with a 4-man rotation. They've been working around the off days as Bregman sends one to right. Warren puts the ball in the air off 3 Astros bats in a 1-2-3 7th. 7th inning stretch time here at Safeco Field. We are tied at 4, and we're going to send it to Kevin Eschenfelder and Mike Stanton in our Rooms to Go lounge.
Your 3 clues tonight. Want to be starting something. Rule 5. Spin Doctor. All right. Tweet us at ATTSportsNetSW. We want to see your best guess. We'll reveal it a little bit later. TK.
All right, Julia. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning, all tied at 4, and the Astros will go to their 4th pitcher of the night, Colin McHugh.
42 appearances this season for Colin McHugh. The fastball has been good. We've seen an uptick in velocity, 92, 93 miles an hour occasionally. It's set up that curveball. Best pitch for him this season has been that slider. It's led to a lot of strikeouts for him. He has the second lowest ERA behind Blake Trinan for the Oakland A's. Looking to keep things right where they're at for the Houston Astros and allow enough time for this offense to get going and maybe add a couple more runs, hopefully.
Colin facing Nelson Cruz, who snapped an 0 for 9 his last time up with a double down the right field line. Cruz takes the breaking ball for ball 1. Mariners 10 hits. They have left 8 men on base tonight through 6 innings. They have had 3 separate innings where they've stranded 2. The Astros have not had the same kind of base runners. They have only left 3 men on base all night long, have the Astros.
Talked about those strikeouts for Colin. 56 in the 3rd innings pitched, 72 strikeouts.
Goes upstairs and gets a swing and a miss from Nelson Cruz. It's 1-2. Seen Cruz go after that high fastball a couple of times tonight. Ground ball. One big hop to Alex Bregman. Takes his time. And that's 1 out in the 7th. So Cruz retired. I'll bring up Denard Span. Span, a sacrifice fly, a strikeout, and a walk. A's leading their game 8-0 over the Rangers in the 8th inning. Mike Fiers, who pitched for the world champion Astros last year, went 7 innings of 1-hit baseball, struck out 8. Line drive past Tyler White into right field. Reddick slides to a stop, and Denard Span into second base with a double.
Really seen left-handed hitters in this ball game turn on some off speed from the Houston Astros pitching. Hands getting a good position for Denard Span. Waits back on the off speed and just rakes it into right field.
Had a game earlier in this road trip where the Oakland A's matched a franchise record with 8 doubles. Mariners have 4 doubles the last 2 innings. And 6 in the game tonight. Here's Kyle Seager.
Well, I feel like sometimes the defensive alignment by the Astros allows some of those base hits to turn into doubles.
In the left, Marwin puts it away for out number 2. This season, you have more ways to watch the Astros than ever before. Download the AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or go to attsportsnet.com to stream from your computer. Log in with your cable account information and you're all set. Available to customers whose TV subscription includes AT&T Sportsnet. It is subject to blackouts and territorial restrictions do apply. 2 outs, runner on second. Here's Ben Gamel. Gamel having a good game since his recall today from AAA. A couple of base hits, a couple of runs scored. He's 2 for 3 as McHugh with a breaking ball in the dirt. Alex Colomé is warming up in the Mariners bullpen. Colomé and Edwin Diaz have formed quite a 1-2 punch at the back end of that Seattle bullpen. Ball sliced out of play. It's 1-1. Breaking ball, Colin ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good slow breaking ball, 77 miles an hour. Snapdragon.
Gamble doesn't chase theirs, 2-2. Astros and Mariners playing a stretch here where they face each other 10 times in a 20-game span. This is wrapping up that stretch of 10 times they have matched up in 20 games. But when it first started back here in Seattle at the end of July, Gamble was on the team and was sent out after the second game. And he was very good for Tacoma in the 16 games at the AAA level since he has been optioned at the end of July, batting .369. Does take a called third strike. Colin McHugh, big strikeout, strands a runner in second. That's 9 left on base for the Mariners. We're still tied.
Fans who purchase season tickets now can enjoy many season ticket holder benefits, including guaranteed 2018 postseason priority access. For more information, visit astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
All right, Blummer, on we go to the 8th inning. In a tie game 4 apiece, Marwin Gonzalez, who has done pretty much everything for the Astros tonight, will lead things off, and he'll face a new pitcher, Alex Colomé.
This guy is pretty good, racking up saves with the Tampa Bay Rays before coming over here to the Seattle Mariners. Strikeout to walk ratio nice at 55 and 16. Like TK said earlier, the 1-2 combo of Colomé and Diaz have been incredible, and he has yet to give up a run to these Astros in 4 games.
Finally had his scoreless streak snapped the other night when the Dodgers got him for 2 runs on a couple of solo home runs in the 8th inning of Saturday's game. Dodgers also got one against Edwin Diaz on a game-tying home run by Max Muncy in the 9th, but then the walk-off balk would win it for Seattle. Well, Marwin, home run, double, single. He has 3 of the Astros' 5 hits. He has driven in 3 of the 4 runs. The other run came across on a wild pitch, and that was Marwin scoring that run. So he has done it all for the Astros offense tonight. Marwin 3 hits, the other 8 in the lineup 2 hits. Down the count here, 0-2.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to score runs when one guy is doing most of the damage. You've got to have some supporting help
Marwin, Yuli Gurriel, Carlos Correa. Astros haven't had much of a threat going since that third inning when they scored 3 runs. They've had just one runner reach base since that RBI single by Yuli Gurriel. Marwin goes down on 3 pitches. Colome picks up a strikeout of the first batter he faces.
It's a pretty nasty slider in. Marwin is seeing the ball well and taking some good swings, but that is well located.
Colome, a heavy percentage of sliders, more than the fastball, 55%. Now he'll face Yuli Gurriel, who is 1 for 3. Since Yuli's hit in the third, though, Astros have had 16 of 17, now 17 of 18. Yuli makes it close, retired as Yuli grounds one to third for the second out of the 8th inning. Two outs, base is empty. That'll bring up Carlos Correa. Colin McHugh pitched the 7th, and we don't see any bullpen action going for the Astros right now, so it appears like Colin will also get the 8th. That almost definitely means he will not be the opening starter tomorrow.
Yeah, especially after getting hot yesterday in Oakland, pitching possibly 2 innings here. We'll take him out of consideration. AJ doesn't like to abuse those guys.
So again, depending on what happens the rest of tonight's game will determine on who gets the start tomorrow. Could be Will Harris, could be Brad Peacock, could be Joe Smith. AJ said he would start a righty, told Scott Service that. Said it would be a righty that's currently on our roster, and it would not be Hector Rondon or Roberto Osuna. That as limited the choices as Carlos on a 2-0 pitch fouls it back. Correa looking for his first hit tonight. 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. Carlos does have a home run in his career against Colome in 4 at-bats. And he's got a good hitter's count here, 3-1. Ball's hit well to left field on the move. Span still on the move and catches it. A little bobble, but comes down with it. Correa hit it hard, but he's retired for the final out of the 8th. Still tied at 4 as we head to the bottom of the 8th.
How'd you do? These were your 3 clues. Thanks for the tweets at ATT Sportsnet SW. Ryan Presley is named that Astro tonight. I like the spin doctor clue.
Little musical flair in tonight's Name That Astro as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Mike Zunino leads off and swings with the first pitch, sends it high in the air to center field. Tony Kemp will wait for it. Josh Reddick backs him up just in case, and Kemp puts it away for out number 1. In case you weren't with us earlier in the game, Kemp playing center field tonight. Was not originally scheduled to play center field on the initial lineup. He was in left. But that changed when George Springer, with a little sore, leg soreness, kept him out of the lineup. So Kemp moved from left to center. George is available, according to AJ, maybe for a pinch hit appearance. We'll see what happens as this game progresses. 1 out, nobody on. Here's D. Gordon. Gordon 1 for 3, and the Astros defensively on the infield play D. Gordon about as shallow as any hitter in the league because D has the ability to bunt and also beat out infield hits. Bregman way in at third. And a strike inside, a high strike, and Gordon didn't like it. It's 0-2.
Wow, he's taking a walk. We've seen worse, but D. Gordon's having some words with Mike Muchlinski back there.
I would say the Mariners have been a little aggressive twice tonight.
Yep.
Segura.
Yep. Completely agree.
And Gordon's walk, which actually was a strike if D. Gordon goes back and looks at it. And that will do it for Scott Service.
Well, it's better Scott Service than D. Gordon if you're a Seattle Mariner fan. And I think Scott Service took a little bit of offense to the fact that he was talking that way to D. Gordon. And the rules state that you shouldn't leave the box unless you swing, foul ball, take a hack.
Slam that plate.
Yep. That's not going to earn you favors.
Showed him up twice. He walked away.
Oh, it egregiously walked out of the box, yeah.
And then slams the plate with the bat. And McClinsky finally said, you know what? You can't do that. Outside 1-2. This crowd's making as much noise now as they have all night long. Now they're engaged in this AB with D. Gordon down in the count 1-2.
D. Gordon probably turned around and said, hey, if I take a pitch, it's usually a ball. I swing at everything.
It's true. Especially 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Last time we were here, that percentage was over 80%. We'll have to get that updated number.
8 walks on the season. Shoot, he swung and made contact with a pitch that bounced 4 feet in front of home plate today.
Garrett Cole was bewildered.
Maybe that's what Mike Muchlinski said. How can you taking that pitch and swing at that one?
Little ground ball towards Tyler White. Colin McHugh will try and cover, and D. Gordon safe. Not sure if Tyler needed to go after that ball, as it looked like Yuli had the play.
Yep. And with Tyler White going to that ball, it was Colin McHugh that was late to cover. D. Gordon turning a bad situation into a base hit.
A.J. Hinch does not have anybody up in the bullpen, so this is strictly a conversation with Colin McHugh. D. Gordon leads all of baseball in infield hits.
Do you see him? He's bringing everybody in. This is a conversation, yes, with Colin McHugh, but I think it has a lot to do with everybody on that infield right now.
That was A.J. having a little powwow, get his message across.
Yeah, you know, typically a manager comes out to make the pitching change, but if a manager comes out and brings everybody into the mound, it's a little bit of a fatherly session for the manager to go out there and have that conversation. He may be looking at Colin McHugh, but he may be talking through Colin McHugh to the other guys behind him.
McHugh will face Mitch Haniger. Edwin Diaz, the closer for Seattle, has been warming up all inning. Takes one inside for a ball. Haniger 2 for 4 tonight. And has really done a lot of damage against the Astros recently. Had a 4-hit game, a couple of doubles in game 2 of that 4-game sweep in Houston. One back.
Good job of holding for an extended amount of time by Colin McHugh. A good pass by Mitch Haniger, who's been seeing Astro pitching pretty good. But in holding a little bit longer, just imagine trying to stay on the balls of your feet and thinking about getting ready to steal a base, and then they hold for 2-3 seconds. All of a sudden you get on your heels. Can't go anywhere.
Up and in is 2-1. Haniger had a 9-hit series in that 4-game sweep by Seattle and Houston. Had a home run and 5 doubles in that series. Tonight, a couple of singles in 4 at-bats, including an RBI single to tie this game in the 6th inning. Three and one. Spins that breaking ball over, and the count's now full.
Nicely done. Looks like it's going to come inside, but it just stays on that inside corner.
Haniger just a piece, fouls it towards the Astros dugout. Runner on the move, pitch up and in, no throw needed. That is ball 4. So an infield hit and now a walk. And the Mariners have 2 on with 1 out. Well, in terms of base runners, it's not been close tonight. The Astros have cashed in on most of their chances, but the Mariners have had base runners, it seems, all night long, a couple in each inning in 5 of the 8 innings, and at least 1 base runner in every inning tonight.
Other than that last game in Oakland, we've seen some total bases per game really in favor of the opposing team. Tonight, 18 total bases for the Seattle Mariners to 9 for the Houston Astros.
Couple of doubles for Cano, adding to that total of 18. Cano did not have an extra base hit since coming back from that suspension list before tonight. Mariners, you see what they have done with runners in scoring position. They have left 9 men on base tonight. Astros have left 3. 1-0 the count.
It's going to be tough to keep him there. Tough part of the order.
Cano has faced Colin McHugh more times than any other Mariner. 36 at bats, has a dozen hits. 6 of those 12 extra base hits. This ball into center field, sending Tony Kemp back. He's at the track, at the wall, gone. Cano, a 3-run home run, and the Mariners take a 7-4 lead.
Pitch up and away. Robinson Cano knew he got it pretty good. Taking that bat for a walk down to first base. 405 feet to the opposite field.
Now a signal by Segura. 4 consecutive Mariners have reached base. Robinson Cano's 5th home run of the season.
There is nobody up in that Astros bullpen.
AJ wants to see Colin McHugh get through this inning, trying to preserve as many bullets now as he can for tomorrow when he needs a bullpen day. Cano 2 doubles and a home run. Scored a couple of runs and drives in the 3 biggest runs of this game. Here's Nelson Cruz. Inside, ball 1. Cano's 4th career home run against Colin McHugh. Now 13 for 37 with 4 home runs. Edwin Diaz is plenty ready to go. This is a very big cushion for him. He's normally used to pitching in 1-run games. Now McHugh misses again. It's 3-0. There's a strike. Oakland won tonight 9-0 over the Texas Rangers. Astros need a rally or they will be tied up again in the AL West.
Put Oakland a half game back with that win. Obviously the outcome of this game will affect that number also, either pushing it back to 1 game ahead if the Astros can pull off some late inning magic.
Called 3rd strike. Cruz doesn't agree with the call, but he is out number 2. Colin picks up a strikeout on the breaking ball.
Again, we've seen plenty of those curveballs. Most of them have come from Felix Hernandez, where they kind of back up, coming right at that right-handed hitter and stay on that inside corner.
Colin McHugh, appearing in his 43rd game of the year, had not allowed more than 1 run in any of his outings prior to tonight. Got a 3-run home run by Robinson Cano, giving the Mariners a 7-4 lead. Here's Denard Span. Cionel Perez, the lefty, now starts to warm up. Span grounds one towards Tyler White, makes the play. 3-run home run by Robinson Cano has the Mariners on top, headed to the 9th inning. Toyota, let's go places. By Arctic, overbuilt, not overpriced. And by Jack in the Box, try something different like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls for a limited time only. Downtown Seattle. On a Monday night, Robinson Cano with a couple of doubles and a home run, and the 3-run shot in the bottom of the 8th. Firing up this crowd here of 27,072, and now they hand the ball over to Edwin Diaz.
This guy's been amazing all season long for the Seattle Mariners. We saw it back in Minute Maid Park in a 4-game series. He saved all 4 games in a row. Bit of a rubber arm, but that thing is amazing, pumping 97 to 99 mile-an-hour fastballs and a power slider. That is correct. 105 strikeouts in 61 innings.
Cameron Maben, remember him from last year, takes over in center field. Mitch Haniger moves from center to right. Ben Gamble out of the game. Well, Diaz, a chance to match the franchise record for most saves in a season. It's only game number 126 for Seattle. Fernando Rodney had 48 saves 4 years ago in the 2014 season. Diaz enters the game with 47 saves. The Mariners are 56-0 when he comes into the game with a lead. 2-1 the count. And more than half of his saves have been 1-run saves, where he's had 0 margin.
It's remarkable. That's why the Mariners are the best team in baseball in 1-run games.
2-2 the count. 24 of his 47 saves, 1-run saves. Tonight he's got a 3-run cushion to work with. Tyler White, Josh Reddick, Evan Gattis due up. The Astros don't have much in terms of offensive numbers against Diaz. They only have 1 extra base hit. That does belong to Tyler White, who hit a home run against him. 3-2. Wright was able to get Diaz during one of those saves at Minute Maid Park with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Turn an 8-5 game into an 8-6 game, and eventually Diaz would close it down. Tyler hanging in there, 3-2, battling with the best closer in the game right now.
He's in Tyler's book.
Yep.
He got him back in Minute Maid Park on a hanging slider.
You could say Blake Trinan could be the best closer too, but this guy just has the better numbers overall. Even though he's blown a few saves, the Mariners have won all those games. And his strikeout total is amongst the best all time in terms of percentage of batters he has struck out. 45.7%. 5th best strikeout rate in Major League history by a reliever. But Tyler Wright saying, I don't care about those stats. I'm going to keep battling you here, as he fouls off another pitch with 2 strikes.
Yeah, keep fighting. Hopefully you get that pitch count up against him. Maybe take him out of the game. Take him off that chart for Scott Service.
Ten pitches so far in this at bat. Diaz does not like the great white shark. When the Astros started this stretch of playing 10 of 20 games against the Mariners, it was up here in Safeco Field, and now White goes down swinging. Quite a battle. It took 11 pitches, but Diaz comes away with a strikeout.
Good battle, tough finish. Slider well off the plate, and Tyler upset with himself for chasing it. MLB At Bat is your #1 Astros app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Astros home screen icons, features, and stats and news and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Josh Reddick takes a strike. Reddick walked his first time up, grounded out and flied out. Astros still do not have a hit in their lineup in spots 4 through 9. Only 5 on the night. Marwin Gonzalez had 3 of them. Alex Bregman and Yuli Gurriel also had singles in the 3rd inning. Felix Hernandez retired the last 5 he faced and 12 of the last 13. Adam Warren a 1-2-3 7th. Alex Colomé a 1-2-3 8th. Mariners have retired 19 of the last 20 Astros. Mentioned when the Astros and the Mariners started this stretch of playing 10 times in 20 games, it was here at Safeco Field. The Astros took 2 out of 3. But the one game the Mariners won, Edwin Diaz saved that game. And he saved all 4 at Minute Maid Park, as Blummer mentioned. He's trying to get one tonight.
Another very good slider. Bottom just dropping out of it.
Two out, space is empty. Evan Gattis will bat. Ball hit hard on one hop at the shortstop Segura. And Edwin Diaz was save number 48 on the year. The last 6 times the Mariners have defeated the Astros, Diaz has picked up the save. Mariners win tonight, the opener of this 3-game series. In the process, they moved to 3.5 games behind the Astros in the AL West, and Houston is tied with Oakland now for first place. We'll have more, including the post-game show, coming up after this.